All right, getting all of the back end stuff ready for everyone to join us. Ensuring that we are set. All right, getting all of the okay, perfect. All right, welcome everyone. Amalia, Natalio, and Madelaine Parker here with you to bring you this month's, I guess this month's second full moon report. This moon happens to also be a super moon, just like the full moon on August 1st. And it's also a blue moon because this having two full moons in the same calendar month does not happen very often. I think it's once every 2.5 years or so that this happens. And the fact that it's two super moons in this month and we have so much retrograde energy happening right now feels to me to be rather significant. So we have this full moon in Pisces, August 30th at 9:35 p.m. Eastern. And we have the following planets retrograde. So I just wanted to list them all off for those who follow this. Think about retrograde planets. It's reviewing, recalibrating, resetting. Okay, so we have Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde, Uranus retrograde, and Pluto retrograde. All at the same time while we have this blue moon, super moon that takes place on August 30th. Now, Venus will be stationing direct. I'm sure Madelaine will be talking about that. I know Madelaine and I talked about this before we went live in the energy of Saturn retrograde, very close to this moon, within what I think 4 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. And so very close, which means there's going to be an impact. We're going to be feeling that Saturn retrograde energy with this moon. Boundaries, big aspect. Old structures changing so that new ones can be created. Madelaine's, I think, going to be going into this a lot more deeply. I'm just kind of giving some highlights of the energies that I was seeing. Venus going direct a few days after this moon. Whatever sort of highlights you've had during this Venus retrograde period around relationships, money, self-worth, values, it's like a culmination point. You might not know immediately, but you're going to know very soon where these areas are triggered, activated, or changing within your life. And you probably already have somewhat of a sense even now. Pisces is, there's so much about Pisces that I love, and there's so much about Pisces that can be like, oh gosh, because it's such this deep, watery sign that's taking all of the wisdom from Aries all the way through to Pisces at the end, carrying it with you in this deep reservoir of wisdom. And when we go into this deep reservoir, it can be dark and it can be murky, and we can't always see things the way they are. We got Neptune also in retrograde here. So that's helpful, because when Neptune is in retrograde, we actually start to see things a bit more clearly. It's not so dreamy and elusive. So this is a prime time for us to be able to actually access some of these deeper emotions. And we have the sun in Virgo, the high priestess, the goddess energy. So stepping into power, particularly when it comes to heart-based initiatives or heart-based, what is what I'm looking for? Not motivations, but projects or things that are near and dear to your heart that you want to take some control over. Not control. What is the word I'm looking for here? See, this Mercury retrograde energy is messing with my head. Let's just say it's being able to step into your power from a heart-centered place and be able to access that wisdom that is available to you with that Piscean moon energy and be able to shine that out into the world. And so, Madelaine, I would love to hear from you as to what is happening in the skies when it comes to this Pisces new moon and all of the other planetary energies that are around it that are going to really be impactful and affect us. I mean, there's a lot going on. Share some of the highlights with us.
Yeah, well, everybody will want to think back to February 20th 2023, we had a new moon in Pisces at 1.22 degrees, conjoining Saturn. At that point, sextiling Jupiter, because Jupiter is the true ruler of this. Neptune and Jupiter are the rulers of this lunation in Pisces. So there was a new seedling planted. You would have seen some kind of new start, it could have been an opportunity that came your way. And for me, it certainly was like something looked like it was a positive new beginning, right? Then you got to June and it was Saturn. So it's going to involve a kind of committed sort of something that you take very seriously, something that's like a work endeavor, something that you think, or that is actually a long-term thing, because Saturn represents the long haul. So these are new beginnings that are going to last the long term in whatever house you have Saturn transiting the sign of Pisces in your chart. So on June 18th, Saturn went retrograde at exactly 7 degrees. So it was sextiling Jupiter at that point. So at that point, something in your career, something around that project that you began, either halted, stopped, needed reevaluation, slowed down, was blocked. So that new beginning, whatever was initiated, is now stumped for a while here and not really kind of going forward. Then we get to this full moon here, August 30th. We have it. Saturn is at 3 degrees. It's about 5 degrees away, but this 4 degrees, which is actually very close. It's considered a conjunction, especially on a full moon. We have the 7 degree point again. This full moon is happening at 7 degrees Pisces. So, and then we don't have Saturn going direct again until November 4th, which will happen at that 0 degree point, which is where the new moon was in Pisces on the February 20th. So what does all this mean?
Well,
basically,
Madelaine,
yeah?
can I let me ask you a question, because it might, this is an example that I think might be helpful for people to tune into this. So basically, when I think back to February of this, last February, the new moon in Pisces, for me, it was in my 4th house. 4th house is home, family. And everyone who's been watching us for a while knows that this is the home theme has been going on for a while. And it's evolved. And so, we think 4th house, it's home, you're moving, you're buying something, you're renovating, something like that. But I'm still here. Okay. So the energy, like you were saying, was stopped, was like, whoa, we're pushing pause on this right now. But now it's coming back around, and a new opportunity may present itself. So it's a new chance that won't be seen likely until Saturn goes direct in November, or you might begin to see a little bit of it now during this moon cycle.
You're going to see a good shift happening now. You're going to go forward. So what happens when the planet goes retrograde is you fix something, you reevaluate something, you like you were saying. So now we're at that 7 degree point. So we're seeing the idea that we had at that point that got blocked now happen. It can happen now. It's opening. Now we're going to look at, so now we're at that last part of the retrograde for Saturn, where we're implementing what we've learned, where we're redefining it, because Saturn is always restructuring things, realigning it, like you say, creating a better foundation for the long term and readjusting for it. So we're readjusting this foundation around this idea somehow so that it's stable for the long haul. So we might see the encouraging opportunities coming in from the universe around this happening, because Saturn represents hard work. So Saturn is going to reward you. So in this full moon, you're going to get a rewarding of the efforts made. So you will see it. But again, we're going to see even more progress, as it were, even more stronger forward momentum when that Saturn goes direct. So you're correct in your thinking. It's just, we are going to see something now. And I think you said that too, but we're really going to ground this new lesson. We're testing it out. We're not totally there yet. But this But the new opportunity that's coming everybody's way might be the slap in the butt that gets you going, because all these retrograde planets, people have been a little bit kickback, especially on whatever it was that you started February 20th. Everyone may have been a little lazy about, because Pisces is sort of a non-active energy, especially when it's in retrograde. So you may have found yourself to be rather lazy in that area. Like you said, what would be the point of that? So that you are yin, so that you're non-active, so that you are in the being energy rather than the doing energy. And when you're in the being energy, you reconnect with, like you say, your inner soul guidance, the real direction you need to go. You become clear, because when you're in doing mode, you can be doing something and you're doing it all the time and you're busy doing it, but there's something about it that's not right, that's not working, that you're continuing doing, that's not right and not working. So then we have to stop, figure out what part of that is not right and not working, that needs to be fixed, so that we then go forward. And again, with Saturn in the picture, it wants us to do it right for the long haul. And Saturn is always going to involve commitment, long-term, your career. It represents your Saturn return. So it's going to be very much signifying to whatever happens during your individual chart on your Saturn return. But then you see Pisces, and then we add the energy of Pisces, which is a very fluid, intuitive, psychic energy. We've got the sun in Virgo, like you were talking about. That's that quantum physics polarity, the non-real to the material, practical. So the sun is revealing a practical new way forward on this idea, this shall we say, momentum started in February 20th, which was halted. So you would mature. Saturn always stops us if we're not mature enough to handle something, to make the right decision. The sun being our ego, our mind, Leo, coming in also might be conflicting with an authority or a stuck situation. But you see, what happens when you have sun opposing Saturn is you get a certain amount of confidence to take on. We in the collective, we are probably going to see a lot of confidence going against the government, especially with Uranus going in retrograde. I'm not sure it's gone quite retrograde yet. It might have. I have to check. It's very soon here. But really, when Uranus goes retrograde, people are much more rebellious. The sun opposing Saturn makes people much more confident to take on the government. But even in our own lives, a parent, you may be challenged by your Leo child or Virgo child. Your thinking might be challenged, but the outcome is excellent, because we've got that sun in Virgo, which is just like for me, I just got such a lot of work done in my taxes. I have Virgo over my third house. I've been working really hard. I learned a lot, but it's like, you got it done. You did it. You took on the hard work, and you're reaping the rewards of some sort of hard, long slog that actually you kind of may at this point have given up on. A lot of us may see that, well, it lost, that fish swam away, that opportunity didn't work out. Well, you might be surprised. And Pisces energy, by the way, are things coming to you. It's that flow. It's let God take over. Take the oars out of the boat and just roll and just flow home, energy. It's the end of this. It's the end of this journey. It's the reaping of an effort, and it's spiritual being in Pisces. Like you were saying, there's an ethereal practice. There's something ethereal or imaginative or creative being in that Neptunian Pisces energies that we couldn't find a practical expression of, or a practical, shall we say, application to do it. Now we see it. Now it comes.
And I love what you just said about the just kind of pull the oars in the boat, lay down and relax and rest.
Yeah.
So that, you had said before too, with this retrograde energy, I don't know why I'm tongue twisted on that. There's a, this sense of wanting to just kind of sit back and rest and relax a little bit. And Pisces is inviting you to do just that.
Yeah.
And within, it's very introspective. So if I guess what's coming to mind is if you are able to find little pockets of time where you go, especially now, it's hot in a lot of places, but it's cooling down some, go sit outside, go sit under the shade of a tree, go connect with the earth, go, go take a swim, go walk, go just be with yourself, be with nature, just allow that guidance and that inner guidance to come in, inner wisdom to bubble up, and trust whatever messages you are hearing and receiving, because it's likely wisdom that you have forgotten about, or that you have learned during this 6-month period that is now ready to be revealed to you. And with that Neptune retrograde clearing things up for you, not being so hazy, Pisces too, it's, oh gosh, like I'm have the chills just thinking about the possibilities and the potential for folks to access this wisdom that's available for them right now. But I think it does require people to stop, like you said, stop doing constantly, and now it's like kids are going back to school, people are coming off vacations, it's, in Labor Day in the United States. So people are thinking about their last gasp of summer fun, and it's chill and relax.
Yes, exactly. Like Pisces is the escapist energy. I'll tell you what I'm doing right now, which I absolutely love to do, is I get on my paddleboard and I just go in the lake and I just lay in the sun in my paddleboard and I just bobble up and down for like a long. But, that Pisces is the water, like.
Yeah.
So absolutely get out there and meditate and connect with nature and connect with your psychic realms, the higher realms, the imaginative realms. Yeah. Pisces is very creative. They're musicians often. And the reason that is because they hear it in the higher dimensions. It's a higher dimensional it's connection with a higher realm. And you're getting that's where the genius, that's why the genius polarity is Pisces Virgo, because it's that's why Einstein always talked about the imagination, because that is where the genius comes from. It comes from the divine. It comes from the higher realms. We are here on the material plane, making it a practical, applicable thing for the people, in service. So the scientist hears the concept, or hears it from divine, from outside the box thinking, out of our own mind, which is what Pisces is about. And get out of the mind and into the higher realm, the imaginative, non-defined matrix world, the spiritual realm. And then you hear some sort of wild wisdom, which you then run home and you apply in a practical way that then becomes a usable thing.
Do you want to share I'm sorry, Madelaine. Did you want to share the chart? And you can show folks what is going on, and we'll dive into the signs.
Pop up the chart for February 20th, just really quick, so everyone can see that, just super quick. We'll take a recap so that people can see. So there was Saturn conjoined. There's the new moon. It was at 1 degree, 122 degrees Pisces. There's Saturn in direct motion there, about to change signs into the sign of Pisces. Very potent when planets change are in the cusp energies. This is a cusp new moon. You don't really see the long-term effects of something we started at that point. You're not aware of the big oak tree. That seed will probably turn into a 30-year growth cycle of some sort. So that was an auspicious beginning, but it takes maturing. Once you plant, there's other work to do. As we say, then we went to retrograde. But at that time, we have what else was going on? I wanted to think about really quick. The nodes were in Taurus, 15 degrees. That was basically it. Saturn had no aspects to any planets. It's very pure, unadulterated. What is the word I want to use? It was a pure Saturn. There was nothing opposing it. It was pure. Whatever initiated for you would have come from a pure spiritual initiation. So if you can't figure out what it was, think of something spiritual and imaginative that you felt very connected to your higher imaginative creative side, or your spiritual. So then that was that side. So now I'm going to look at today here.
And just as a little tip for folks, if you can't remember what you were doing back in February, I always go back to my photos, because even if you weren't doing something specific on that day that's captured in your photos, it will jog your memory as to what was happening around that time. And you will always be reminded of what you need to be reminded of. So just a little tip.
Yes. And also emails, but journaling is a great thing to do.
journaling
Right.
1,000%. That's easy. You go back and look at your journal, but I know
Yeah.
a lot of people do not journal every day.
Mhm, mhm.
And so I find that photo memories are one of the easiest
Yeah,
go-to. You
I
can
think
look
that's
at
a
your
great idea.
calendar, if people keep a calendar, that's another good way. Emails too, Madelaine, but
Yep.
I clean out my emails. I'm a kind of
Oh,
a
you
freak
do?
about
You
it.
do?
So yeah,
Oh,
if I get over 120 or so, then I'm like, oh no, I got to get this clear. So
I keep them all as records, but yeah, but yes, lots of ways to check it out, but
yeah,
that's a good idea. The photos is a great idea. Now, with August 30th, we do have, here's what's happening at that moment, but we do have Jupiter going in direct retrograde. Venus goes direct on the 4th, and Jupiter goes retrograde on the 4th. So, and Mercury goes direct on the 16th. So of September. So during this actual full moon, we've got Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, and Saturn retrograde. Neptune is retrograde. Is Uranus Uranus is retrograde by this
yeah.
full moon. You're right. Okay. So wow, on that amazing.
know.
I
There's,
do
there's
going
a
to see
lot.
quite, yeah, I do think we're going to see quite a bit of with the Saturn opposing the sun, moon with a 23-degree retrograde Uranus. I do think we're going to see a bit of a up aggro from people against the government of some sort of strength in collective confidence and courage to speak up against probably things about water, government pollutions or things involved with water. So on a collective level, we're going to see people on the whole gradually standing up more to things that are not right, that are imposed upon us from authorities or autocratics or parents.
Well, so
Anything.
I
Yeah.
wonder too, because I've been hearing a lot of chatter recently about
Mhm.
flu season and variants and all this stuff and new mandates, this and that. And so all of that getting kicked up again.
Might be interesting to see what kind of responses we get from the collective, because it could be very strong.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. It's interesting too that we're going into the fall with school season in most of the United States, and then the holidays soon after, which is a huge time of travel and gathering, and that was a big point of contention a few years ago. So,
well, what's interesting in a birth chart, when you're doing a birth chart reading and somebody has a Uranus retrograde in their chart, they're very rebellious. They don't do, I'm that person. They were punk rockers. I have Uranus retrograde. We almost never do anything you teach yourself. They're just, so when the planets go retrograde like that, you're going to see a lot stronger anti the norm, people busting boxes, people busting out. That's the other thing about this full moon is whatever opportunity comes in, it enables people to sort of break free. And with Uranus in retrograde, there is a strong desire to break free and change our lives in some way right now, in some stuff where we're really and plus with that retrograde energy going inward, you're walking your own path even stronger. I mean, we're going to see a lot of interesting, and I predict passive, because Mars is in Libra. Mars and Libra are diplomats. My dad was a diplomat. He traveled the world. He's a rising Aquarius. Mars Libra, excellent diplomat. Even now to this day, my mother had a nurse helping her, and she wanted the other nurse to help her because she had two. And my father says, you can't do that. You're going to hurt the other nurse's feeling. You can't just say, I want this nurse. You have to think about the other nurse. And I said, wow, Daddy, you're such a diplomat. The day you go, you're going to be a diplomat.
It's that Libra though, where he doesn't want to rock the boat. He doesn't want to have anyone feel bad or create a conflict. And
it's just a natural thing for Mars in Libra to do. It just wants to create a peaceful resolve. And Jupiter during this full moon, what's Jupiter doing? Because Jupiter is always going to help. Jupiter's trining Mercury and squaring Venus, which is no problem. That's no big deal. But Jupiter is making connection to Venus during this whole thing, which Jupiter is the solutions. It's squaring Venus, which usually means it it's finding a harmonic balance between the two of the good things. You know, like where's the best sweet spot of the two good things? It's not there. These are nice. Honestly, this is a really nice full moon, unless you've got some real issues going on with the government and or in your own life. I mean, I'm paying my taxes now. It's opposing Saturn. It's hitting my chart and on my third house, and I'm paying taxes more than I wanted to, but that's okay. I feel good about that. I did well. So, but the government's there. Hey, it's right there taking my money, and I'm like, yeah, but it's all right. I'm going to do it. But of course I have to. But that's Saturn opposing the sun. You're dealing with something with the government or taxes or an authority figure or a restructuring or some kind of a giving something more structure that you were starting in that seed that you didn't give enough structure to. Virgo, the sun, revealing more detailed oriented way of approaching it, you know, finding more being better at it, finding more perfection in it, being more perfect at it. So this full moon brings really, I think it's honestly a really, really great, nice full moon. I think it's going to bring all the card readings are nice and abundant lately. Virgo is it's a fabulous full moon because it's taking a big idea, an almost ethereal something. A lot of times people say, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to get that going. I don't know how to start that. I don't know how to make that dream a reality. Well, this is the full moon where that dream, that vision now becomes more of a reality. But it also isn't, the illusion of it may change. It's not quite what you think. There's a reality about it you didn't fully understand or appreciate, which is why it didn't kind of work out or something needed to be changed about it. So there's a reality, a practical reality aspect to the vision that is now makes it happen. So I think
do we want to jump into the signs?
Sure, let's do it. Let's get all the 12 houses up. If I can find my darn chart, because I cleaned up my laptop, darn it.
You're still sharing your screen, Madelaine, so you might want to.
Yeah, let me pop
go out of there. That might be easier for you to find it too.
Yeah, thanks. I'm like, where the heck did I put that?
So while you're looking for that, I have something that popped into my mind I'm curious about, and that is, you had said that this will, as a whole, looks to be like a full moon that will feel pretty good, unless you're dealing with the government, or would you say authority?
Yes. So, like, for instance, if it could be that you have a practical idea for something and it goes against, like, let's say you're building a house in the fourth house. Let's use the structure, and you want to build your structure a certain way. Well, the authorities, the government will say, no, we will not permit your structure that far down, that your foundation cannot go that way. It needs to go this way. So you then have to adjust, or depending on your chart, they adjust to you and you win, depending on the angle of this. And you get to have it your way, and they adjust the rules, and they say, that's okay if you do it this way, you do it this way, you have to add these materials, so we'll adjust that if you add these materials. It can happen. I was doing an Airbnb, but it was camping, not Airbnb, and I was pulling a permit, and I thought, they were like, but they only did Airbnb permits, not for camping. And they said, oh, well, we adjust the rules so it can be camping. And they did it for me. I was like, I had a really good transit going. I knew what I was doing.
Nice.
Transit with my, So, and so they were very adaptive. So Pisces is a mutable energy. It's adaptive. We are adapting here. Virgo, again, adapting. So you're either adapting, like I did my taxes, and I had no idea how much I was going to pay. And then I found out how much I was going to pay. I can adapt to it, adaptive. And then I'm also now more aware of how I'm going to do my next taxes. So I'm adapting to that. So it's a mutable energy where we're making some sort of an adaptation to something that we initiated. An opportunity comes in that also adapts it to a more practical, real, usable way that helps more. That's more of service. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I had a specific person and a situation in mind when I asked that question. And I feel like
Oh, okay.
what you were saying about the adaptability is a key piece of that. But and you know, another part of this that I feel like would also be beneficial and helpful for folks who might be watching is that if you have a situation that's occurring within your world, like you are affected by something that's happening, and there are other people involved with how you're feeling, what you're experiencing. You have that mix in your soup. Then outside of that, you have other people who maybe are in authority or have some sort of say or have some sort of impact or effect on your soup, you know, your soup of experience. What I find interesting is what I'm kind of putting together in my head as you were sharing what you did about adaptability is there's the adapting, but there's also the individual lesson within it's like ingredients in the soup. Like each person is their own specific ingredient. They have their own wisdom, they have their own knowledge, they have their own experience, but you're affecting each other. You're impacting each other. And so, you know, just kind of, again, pulling a lot of these other energies that are impacting us together, it's finding our sense of value and self-worth with that Venus retrograde energy, especially, and being able to stand in our own power and say, this is okay, this is not okay. Again, that's also that Saturn boundary thing, saying yes to something, saying no to others. So recognizing that we are all affecting each other, but we have our own individual experience that we're going through, and navigating, adapting to what is showing up for us. And then factoring in that there are outside forces that impact us, but they don't necessarily have control over us. They might push us one way or push us another way, and we may not like it, but that is then going to be a catalyst for us to stand up for change or do something differently.
Yes. And because Saturn is in the water energy, I would think that is going to be responsive.
Okay. I love that. Yeah. So it would be a great time if you are feeling like you need to create a boundary or stand up for yourself in some way to do that.
I do think that it softens and is a little softer energy for Saturn. So I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
Hoping so.
Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah.
Feels good. Yeah. Okay. Sorry to sidetrack us, but that was just, it was so loud and so strong. I'm just, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to start with Aries. Aries, you guys have Pisces over your 12th house. So this is a new moon. This is interesting to have full moon. Something you started either about travel. You either may have lodged or a plan to travel, go abroad, or to take a trip, or to go on a retreat, or to take some sort of spiritual retreat, or to, shall we say, be alone, be alone, to connect with your soul, what you really wanted. Now you see it, the full moon comes in, it creates clarity. You get that clarity, you know your soul better. You know what you were reaching for on a soul level. You've cleared a certain karma. That for Aries, with that new moon on the 20th, you initiated something, but you still have some more karma to clear, which would have been in processing mind, your soul energy. In other words, karma would have been around some perception you've had that was non-spiritually in alignment, that may have been more ego-based. Aries are very headstrong. They're very attached to their thoughts, their thinking, their mind. It rules the head. Think of the ram, the horns. They're very they're very with their thoughts. So with this full moon in your 12th house, you're reevaluating deeply thoughts you pushed forward, that you now, and then you become clear on it, which now allows you to take a new karmic cycle in your life, because now you're going to have a new, shall we say, path in your Aries cycle, because that's the end of a cycle. So you've cleared a karma for sure. Taurus is in, because we have Jupiter in your second house, so which is a solution comes in, a financial opportunity comes in, that I would say, because of this, because you've found your authentic center more than your ego mind. You're being led by an authentic center. It opens up some sort of solution financially for you. Again, this is outside the box thinking. That's why astrology and tarot can really help us, because it pushes outside of a limited way of thinking, which opens us up to more abundant possibilities. So for Aries, you're opening up to more imagination, more creative ideas that bring you more abundance, that are going to bless your abundance.
Are we ready for the card?
Yeah. Yeah. What'd you get?
Okay, so we're back. We have the cards again this week because we had more time last
I know.
time. Madelaine was traveling, so we were quick.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm using, as always, the Lotus Way Flower Evolution deck, and sharing a flower for each of the 12 signs that's supportive for each one. You can utilize the flower power by taking a screenshot of the flower, by just taking a mental snapshot, purchasing items from Lotus Way, the flower elixirs, the mists, the serums. There's a discount code below if you're interested in that. And they actually have a special right now, 25% off using the code Do It Now until the end of August, until August 31st. So depending on when you see this, and if you miss that, no big deal. There's the 10% off code if you just use my name. So for Aries, we have Bee Balm. And the message of Bee Balm is be still. And I love this message for 12th house Aries. Aries are the goers. Pisces is stop.
Boom. No go.
So,
and that's the purple, which is the color of the 12th house.
There we go. Yeah. So the cards have spoken. So Bee Balm activates hope. The message is be still. It's a very soothing, calming energy. And I feel like too, with this one, it almost looks like a jester hat up here. And if you think about the jester or the fool in tarot, it's the start of something. So we're not quite ready for the start. It's like we're almost there. And that's that 12th house, like you're completing it so that you can start new. But Aries is that let's go, let's start something energy, but it's like not quite yet. Not quite yet. So yeah, Bee Balm for Aries.
I want to say something about that card. I'm a visual reader. So cards just really tell me a lot. And look at how the top of the card is in the light, how it's connected to spirit, connected to the light. And it's like, go alone and connect to spirit, connect to God, or your idea of who God is, your higher self, your higher mind.
Supported, like this that's what makes me just feel like you've got it. You're supported, it's all okay. Nothing here. No worries. No worries. That's hope. There you go.
That's the message of the 12th house. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go
to Taurus.
I move my chart aside. Okay, Taurus. So you have Pisces over your 11th house. Fantastic to have this Pisces full moon in your 11th house. Again, think back to February 20th, an idea you may have had. You have Jupiter in your first house in your sign. So all Jupiterian things are loud in your life. Travel, maybe new spirituality, new religions, or new beliefs, philosophies opening up in your life rapidly right now, new ways of thinking, completely opening up. You might be wanting to learn or study something, but with that in your 11th house, it's the house of lucky gains. The 11th house, it's new people, new friends, new tribe. And what's interesting, you're going to have a whole new way of thinking because you've got Uranus on your first house. So you're really opening your mind rapidly. Taurans' minds are just going kaboomba, opening up major wide. And in relation to health, most Taurans are related to healing arts or health or gardening, so you're getting this big mind opening about what all that means, the options, the earth energy that's around, that's available to help. The Taurans are connecting to a earth truth. And so Pisces is their 11th house. Now, the other thing about this full moon is you want to hold high vision. You want to hold a high vision during this full moon. You want to materialize your dream. It's a vision energy. It's a dream. So it's like in the 11th house, it's a dream comes true. It's like something you visualize, you envisaged for yourself. Now is landing, is grounding. And Virgo in your 5th house, creative projects, a lot of creativity coming in here. So it's, or friendships, as friendship groups, new friends, creative projects, projects with friends. The 11th house can also be your internet, your social media could suddenly take off. You could have started a social media account and it didn't really work out, and now it'll go kaboom. On this full moon, it really works out. There's a creative, if you're being creative with that 5th house, Sun in Virgo in your 5th, giving you creative ideas, which make it work out really well. New friends group, new tribe. You suddenly discover who your true tribe really are. You make a new friend that opens you up to a new tribe group. It could be a relationship happens. You become a practical, your real relationship that's grounded. Any relationship that occurs right now is for the long haul, really strong long-term. We've really cleared out karma in relationships with Pluto and Capricorn. A lot of Virgo people have Pluto in Capricorn over their 5th. So we're really clearing karmic attachments in relationships. We're becoming free of that, liberated from that karma now. Finally, this full moon is karma liberating. Absolutely. Pisces is the reckoning. We've made reckoning. We've cleared karma somewhere. So Taurans are really opening up their social life here. Something opens up through their social media, through friends groups, creative projects. Lucky gain, something happens, a lucky gain, a winning, you win the lottery. If you bought a lottery ticket on the 20th, you could win.
So what's coming through was you're sharing all of this too, is that it's so important to have a clear vision, to have a really clear idea of what it is that you are looking to create in your life. And this flower card speaks directly to that. The Royal Poinciana, the message is ask for what you want, but you need to know what you want to ask for first.
Correct.
So start there. Start with, when you close your eyes and you feel into and you tune into this vision of your ideal life or your ideal partnership or your ideal project, what does it look like? What does it feel like, taste like, smell like? How are you engaging with that energy? What people are around you? What environment are you in? What can you do? And that could be just asking the universe for what you want. And then maybe taking another step, another action. This also magnifies clarity, decisiveness, laser focus. So I feel like this is such a magnificent card for Taurus, really for all of us to take with us, to get clarity on what do we actually want, not what does somebody else want for us. What do we actually want to create in our lives? And you might be surprised. I have a number of clients who we do this, a couple of different exercises around this, and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that I wanted that, or I didn't know that I didn't want that.
Yep.
So
it's huge because I designed a book to help people call for what they wanted going into their feminines. And a lot of people couldn't do it because they didn't know what they wanted. And I was like, okay, we got to go back to step 1. Discover what you want.
We got to back up. Up.
But that card's interesting because to me, it has such a creative outburst energy of creativity, that 5th house, so fun for Taurus. This is a nice full moon, I think, everybody. I like it.
Yeah. No.
Don't forget Saturn there for you guys in that house of the 11th house. So it could be breaking through a certain type of friends that you felt oppressed or you couldn't be yourself with. Now you stand up against it, you be yourself. So there's something in there as well. All right. So let's do Gemini. Oh, nice. Full moon on your, it's funny because I have a good friend who's Gemini and he runs art galleries. And he just told me he's starting 2 new galleries, one in New York and one in Seoul. And this is happening right on the full moon in he's Gemini. So that's very interesting. So he's got his full moon in Pisces, 10th house.
Nice. Good for him.
So Yep. And Pisces represents travel in foreign countries, the 12th house. It represents. So that's something everyone should consider in this reading, that it can involve. I have Pisces over my 9th house. So I'm hoping that it involves travel, but sometimes Saturn can repress travel. So I'm trying to work out which way this goes. But anyway, so for the 10th house for Gemini, some kind of a effort you made, new initiation you made 6 months ago, now becomes your opens up practicality. You're going to have the practical Virgo in your 4th. So something about living situation makes it very practical, a practical solution to this new career, shall we say, because the Virgo, the sun being in your 4th house, gives you the impetus, the vitality, the desire, clarity. 10th house, the moon, emotional, what you really want to do emotionally. There's a spiritual element to it. Again, we're moving away from the energy of survival with this full moon. This is dreamy energy. This is creative. This is the arts. My friend's an art gallery dealer, so it would be the arts. So it's something that isn't a culmination, because the full moon with Saturn there. There's been a struggle to create this. There's been hard work. There's been blocks, and there's been setbacks, and there was maturity needed to be gained to have this happen. And now we see it happening. So perhaps using the gallery as an example, it opens up, but maybe when that Saturn goes direct, we now see it really taking charge on its own momentum on some level. So it will for him sooner, but maybe on the full spectrum of the potential starts to become clear. So just quickly looking at Jupiter for you guys, Taurus, your 12th house, travel, foreign long distance travel, retreats, shall we say, Jupiter being there, really coming into your soul calling, seeing your soul calling very strong, and expanding that from your center, like expanding your calling from a place of soul, not mind, because Gemini are so heady too. So, all right.
Well, so it's interesting. The cards were a little bit wonky for Gemini, which I think is kind of funny because of that, what you were saying, you know, the dual mindedness and a lot of the mental that Gemini tends to have. Yeah, the mercurial energy. So what's fascinating is there were several cards that came out, and a couple of them really stuck out. I actually kind of put them to the side, and knew that I would feel into which direction based on what you were saying. And you literally said 2 words off of one card and 1 word off of the other.
Oh, cool.
So
like 2 cards for Gemini. How appropriate is that?
So appropriate. Okay, so we have bird's foot lotus. The message is take charge, and you literally said that, like literally said those words. And cool. The second card is the chandelier succulent, which activates momentum. So I recall. You said both. Exactly. So I'm like, okay, so these are clearly the 2 cards. There was a third one that I think was just like part of the mix. Like it had to come out with those, but it wasn't really the message. But these 2 feel very resonant with what you were sharing about Gemini. And to let's open it up just a little bit. The chandelier succulent also magnifies follow through, teamwork. Oh, hang on, let me go that way. And teamwork. So if you've got projects you want to work on, it may require you working with other people. Bird's foot lotus also magnifies a lightness, a cheerfulness, laughter, and ease. So when you are gaining momentum and working with others, there is a playfulness, a lightness to it. Make it fun. It doesn't have to be a chore. It doesn't have to be drudgery, like your friend that you were talking about with this project. Huge project like that could feel like a lot, but just make it fun, especially if it's something you feel very connected to. So bird's foot lotus and chandelier succulent for Gemini. Yeah.
Mars in their 5th house. So that is a lot of interaction with people and friends, a lot of socializing when you have Mars in the 5th. All right. Ooh. So let's go to Cancer. All right. You guys have this in your 9th house of travel, teaching, starting a course, teaching courses, writing, publishing. I do know some people, Cancer rising, who have their nodes and a couple of planets here in the 9th house, and they have potentials of writing opportunities. I think may have even showed up around February 20th. Now opens up more to a practical way forward. Opportunities open up. Any kind of a teaching program, if you're doing that, really looks good. Like it's opens up, which is interesting because that's when I start my workshops again. Starting my workshops again. So that's going to be a good thing. It's probably going to do well for me in that period there. That'll be good. And then Cancers might also, I see it's interesting with Saturn in your 9th. It's hard for me to know if it's going to oppress and make you not be able to travel, or enable you to work and travel. And I'm praying for the work and travel. That's what I want to do so bad. I just want to be able to work and travel, and because I'm a wanderer and I have Sagittarius sun, we love to wander and explore. That's what astrology is. You're always exploring and wandering throughout the stars and understanding. And so I want to be able to work and travel and wander. So hopefully that happens. But, with Saturn there, it's kind of a challenging one to see, because Saturn is making you mature and grow up and do what needs to be done, whether you like it or not. So in some level, my career is going to take precedence. So whatever is important, most important, Saturn's going to make that happen and block everything else. So there have been times I've wanted to travel before, but Saturn blocked it, and instead I got working, and I'm really glad I didn't go because I had a really good boost in my career. So long story short, for Cancer, it's really nice to have a full moon in your 9th house. Is a lucky house ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is sextiling in a wide sextile to this full moon. So positive things happening potentially around traveling, higher learning, education, but also you're going to see, also because Jupiter is in your 11th house, it could be a social media thing opens up for you. Something you started February 20th, a social media account opens up, or you do get published. Something you wrote then does get published. You applied for it to be published. You now hear you are published. Or your social media platform now. I did get a bit of a boost in my social media thing. Then it kind of stopped for a bit, kind of went back. So there's some sort of refiguring going on. And now for Cancers, your social medias could pop back up again stronger, because you've had some sort of maturity, some sort of clarity or understanding more about what to do, some kind of growth or maturity involved. So for Cancer, you have Taurus in your 11th house, Jupiter in your 11th house. This is really good. You've got Jupiter, your ruler of this full moon, in your house of lucky gains, with the moon in your lucky house of just flat out good luck and travel and higher wisdom, higher philosophy, astrology. And then you've got the sun in your 3rd house, which is writing, internet, your taxes, detailed stuff, possible writing. I'll probably get back to writing my blog. Then things like that, back to your website. You might work on your website again, get cracking on that. An opportunity comes in perhaps to join your account with other accounts to cross promote, which really works for you. All kinds of things could happen here in that web. We've got the 11th house, 3rd house, 9th house, very social media kind of energy, teaching, learning online. You may join a course. All right.
So everything that you said brings us back to just the simplicity of one word: awareness. Awareness of the opportunities, awareness of what is exciting you, awareness of where the universe is guiding you. Because like you were saying, there's so many things that could be happening, so many opportunities, so many pathways, so much. It's like having an awareness of what is available, what you actually are wishing to co-create or create in your life. And so it activates, this is the white water lily, activates awareness. The message is sharpen your senses. So it is, feeling like you're connected to everyone and everything, and that everything is possible. So that to me reminds me so much energetically, like you were sharing, I think you mentioned the word, a web. There's so many of these interconnected pieces. And if you look at this, there's you know, all the petals around it, they're like these interconnected pieces. You're in the center. You're your own sun. Like, here you are. Where are you going to focus your energy and attention? What project, what relationship, what travel destination, what idea? And so the white water lily for Cancer feels like, I don't know, it's just sunshiny and bright and full of possibility. So yeah,
I
be aware.
interesting, because if you think about it, the 11th house is more public notoriety, more seen. So it could be that your social media sort of opens up, you know, you become more seen, more out there.
Yeah, could be.
Right. And house again is a communicating. It's the macro, the third house is the micro. So spiritual information coming out, writing, communicating. 11th house, social media. You may also, though, have support and help from friends too.
Yes, true. Which is good. Okay,
Yeah.
Leo.
Leo, all right. Venus is in your house, still going direct soon, so things are going to open up for you, because your Venus in your sign is going to go direct here on the 3rd or 4th. Jupiter goes retrograde. It's squaring there, so that's happening in your 1st house. So much something would have been slowed down, blocked, not working for a while. Now opens up, something about creativity or romance and finances. And you guys have Virgo in your 2nd house, full moon in your second house. That's awesome. That's like a financial solution comes in. Jupiter is involved in the story, so it's always a solution, a new financial creative beginning that's actually really in alignment with a creative passion, a dream. It's you have Pisces over your 9th house, could involve travel. Wait, let me find out what can't be over your 9th, because we just did that. 8th house, a full moon, you could get a loan, a business loan, an inheritance, a relationship. So you join financing, which enables you to take a risk financially, make a dream come true. I do know a Leo who's hesitating to run their own business. This might be an opportunity, or a bank loan enables you to run your own business. And by the way, a full moon in your 8th house is positive for getting into debt. If you do take a loan or you qualify for something, it's a good chance it's going to work out very well for you. This is going to establish you for the next 30, 25 years. These are new beginnings in your house of finances that is going to create stability for you. I keep forgetting to add all of this. These new beginnings are stable. Saturn in the story. Practical. This is practical way of earning money. It's practical and it's of service. And so you also, with the sun in the 8th house, you get over a fear of debt or of not having enough money. There's going to be some kind of a breakthrough of your fear, your lack of, because a full moon in your 2nd house shows you where your lack of self-worth and lack of self-value, didn't believe in yourself, so you won't take a risk on yourself. If you don't believe that you're going to land and be able to pay the debt, you wouldn't take it. But you on this full moon, something happens, an opportunity comes in. Maybe you get landed with an order. You now believe in yourself. You can go to the bank and take money out on the order. You know you're going to fulfill it. You know you can pay it back. So an opportunity comes in that enables you to take a risk, to take forward, to believe in yourself, to go forward and take a creative new initiative in your life that is going to last you very well. I'd have to look at your personal chart, but there's a good chance we're looking at a new, solid, stabilizing financial career that's practical.
I love this perspective, obviously, Leo sun that I am, in terms of, I think about it in terms of investing. So there have been a couple of opportunities that have been revealed to me that I'm feeling literally this week that I'm pulling the trigger on. And they are risky. They are very much outside the box. In some ways, yes, some ways, no. But, 8th house too can be the hidden potential in things you may not always see. And what I love about that is the fact that this card, the banana yucca, speaks to just that, the hidden potential. There's hidden potential. And the
Yes.
message is uncover your secret talents. And so, you know, the story that I'm creating around this for myself is, you know, a lot of these investments, that's not what I do. It's not my jam really, but I am taking what talents I have, which is to follow my instincts, follow the flow of energy, listen to guidance that I receive, take action, even if I can't see it, even if, like, I've shared a couple of these ideas with people and they look at me like I'm crazy. And, you know, I was
It's a good idea and you should probably do it.
like, you know, they're like, I don't know, that seems a little like scammy or not. But the feeling that I'm getting is it may, I hear you, but at the same time, there's something about it that my soul is calling to. And it's part of a bigger picture that we can't see now. You know, and I keep thinking about people who have gone out on a limb and have, you know, pushed against the odds. And, you know, Misha and I watched the movie The Big Short last night.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I felt a lot like some of those guys, you know. I mean, I don't really want to bet against, you know, people. I don't want, you know, losing homes and that negative impact, but it's like the guys who saw that coming, who saw the banking F-ups, saw an opportunity there. And you can't fault them for seeing an opportunity and seeing how they could benefit from the opportunity. It was just unfortunate it had such a huge, you know, detrimental impact. But
Mm-hmm.
this feels kind of like a similar situation where it's like everybody thought they were nuts. They had doors slammed in their faces and people telling them they were crazy. And they knew it, you know, they saw it. So this, to me, is a reminder for all the Leos out there that if it feels crazy or you feel like, oh, I don't know, but there's some part of you that's calling, trust it, because now would be the time.
Yes.
Yeah, sun card. Yeah.
On it. Here's the thing. You're absolutely correct, because I talked to my dad, who's one of his specialties in a diplomat was that he was a financial consultant to the country that he was serving. He would help stabilize their economy and stuff like that. And one of the things I was telling him about astrology was the 8th house teaches you that to make money, you have to take risks. You have to be fearless, but they have to be intelligent risks. They have to be what I consider astrologically guided risks, because that's what I did. Worked out fantastic. So he was saying 100% that is how people make it. That's how people be rich, is they take investments, they take risks. And what happens when you take a risk, this is what happened to me, is all your money gets tied up in that investment. So you're kind of tight on your money for a while. You're a little cash broke, but that's like forced investment. You can't spend your money. It's going into an investment. It just pays off mega better.
Yeah.
So if you're taking a debt that is a calculated, guided, spiritually guided risk, intuitively guided risk, with the cards are saying yes on, by the way.
Yeah.
Really work out for you. Really. And that is what the 9th, 8th house teaches us, is to overcome our fears and not let them keep us in a small little safe box.
Yeah, exactly.
Not there in the is literally busting you out of a fear to do this. This could absolutely lines up. Absolutely. And here's the thing about taking investments is when you're in a entrepreneurial, or shall we say solopreneurial type work, usually I find people with that in their chart, they have an investment backup. They have land backup, or they have other financial stabilizing factors. And I see it a lot. I see it with writers. I see it's like land investment was a way to create some kind of stability while you explored and you developed your modalities, and, you know, just something that is a nice part of the package. Why not? You know?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. I love the way you expressed that.
Yeah.
Okay. Virgo.
Wow.
Virgo.
You have the sun in your first house. This is going to be a relationship full moon. You're going to have a relationship come to fruition. Now, it can be a contracted partnership, business relationship type thing. It can be that you move. It depends on the rest of your chart, but sometimes you move somewhere and you hire a real estate agent. That's a contracted relationship partnership. or you develop a creative project with someone, you write something with someone. Libra house, seventh house can be that's not Libra for Virgo, but seventh house is a Libra house, which often is creative or writing, arts. So Virgo with Pisces in your seventh house of relationships, you could have met somebody in February 20th, and then it turns into a relationship now. That could happen. Also, with a full moon in your first house, you become more known. You're in the highlight. You're the star of your peer group. You're kind of in your power. You feel good about yourself. Usually you come out of some sort of old version of yourself. You come out of hiding. You come out of being like because you would have had the sun in your 12th house for the last month. So now you're like out in the world, more seen. What else do we have for going off for Virgo? Jupiter hits your ninth house, potential writing, creative writing, travel, new astrology, learning new things. Your mind is opening and changing with Jupiter there. You're having expansive new ideas, possibly travel. You see a solution traveling. And with Pisces in your seventh house, a relationship opens up, a new relationship. It could also very much be your true soulmate, past life relationship, your true person. Because Pisces is very much about the spiritual connection. It's a very soul. Venus is exalted in Pisces because it's higher love. It's the higher love. So Pisces romance can open up a true love connection. Again, we're looking at a 30-year contracted type situation, 25 to 30 years, Saturn cycles. What do you got?
Okay. So one thing about the relationship aspect here, Madelaine, I'm curious about. So for Virgos, if you are currently in a relationship, and Virgos too, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to think back to, I think this was maybe 2 months ago. There was a little bit of or maybe even longer, it might've been 3 months ago. There was a little bit of a potential relationship hiccup for them, where there may have been some trouble in paradise, if you will. And now we've got this full moon showing up here, where an seventh house affecting relationships. Could there be a relationship shift where it's not necessarily like you're beginning to see, oh, dang, I thought this was, but.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Let's say you started a relationship February 20th, and now you see that it is not your soulmate relationship, but now you know who is. That can happen too.
Okay. So, and
Yep.
it may be that you have an awareness of what it is that you like to have within a relationship, within a partnership, realizing you don't currently have that. Now you know, and you can set your sights on what it is that you would like. So I don't think oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, Virgo have Saturn in their seventh house. So some Virgos relationships will be ended and repressed and stopped. And you are going to go solo for a while, to the end of the cycle, to 3 months. I know at 3 years, I know that sounds horrible, but in that time you become more mature and you become more relationship material. You become more independent as a person, which makes you more relationship material. So it can also play out that you become very committed in a long-term relationship, depending on the rest of your chart. And you now step into your 30-year, 25-year cycle relationship.
I'm feeling like
conflict, because the sun opposes Saturn. So maybe you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't want to commit, so you end it. Or somebody wants to commit, you don't want to commit, you end it. I do know people who are doing that too.
When you mentioned that 3-year time period, that kind of like that in-between period, that feels really aligned for some Virgos in terms of just allowing them to have a deeper relationship with themselves. Again, bringing in that Piscean energy of that introspection, because some Virgos tend to want to give. They are givers. They want to they really wish to help. They want the best for everyone, you know, and they often do that to the detriment of themselves. So this feels like if there's a relationship dynamic that's shifting or changing, it's likely one where you may not enjoy that aloneness, but that aloneness is exactly what you need in order to get back in touch with yourself, to be ready for that long-term, long cycle relationship, to be
Yeah.
aligned with who you are.
Yes, because Pisces is really a very karmic energy. So you're clearing the pattern that you have of throwing yourself under the bus to maintain your relationship. So Virgos will throw themselves under the bus for their relationship. And it's a karmic lesson for them to learn to set a boundary and be equal and take care of themselves, you know,
Yeah.
love. So exactly what you're saying. Excellent. Yeah.
So, okay, we've got Brugmansia for for the Virgos. And I don't know that I've ever pulled this card before. So I find it very interesting that it's showing up now. It activates ease. The message is let go and let loose. Now, what I want to point out is it magnifies assimilation of change and growth and the ability to surrender to vulnerability. And I feel like for the Virgos, I know that's a really challenging place for them to be, is to be vulnerable, even to ask for help. Like, they're the helpers. They're not the ones that want the help or
Yes.
ask for the help quite often. So this is really, Virgos, all you Virgos out there, just take this in. Please, I beg of you. Magnifies the ability to ask for help, to create a community of support, magnifies assimilation of change and growth, magnifies the ability to surrender to vulnerability. I just wanted to read that one more time because I really would love any Virgos watching to take that in right now. So important. Yeah. Okay. I'm done. Get off my soapbox, but
That's interesting because it's the only green, and Virgo is green because it's earth. And so it's like the flowers busting from the earth, you know, into the light. So
yeah.
it's,
And just spreading out, like
they're
they're ready to just like
break free from being too earthed.
Yes.
To the earth.
Due in large part to others' energies, you know, other people around them. Okay. Libra.
Libra. So you guys have Pisces in your 6th house, full moon in your 6th house. So if you've been running a business, Libra, you now hire somebody, a full moon shows up, somebody you really want to hire. It can be a business associate type relationships, a work thing. Also, a full moon can be health. You discover a solution to a health problem that you've been battling with. You may have started some sort of new health routine. On the February 20th, you now see results. You also maybe see the results of somebody you hired and you fire them now, or you now see who you do want to work with. Where's Virgo in your Libra house? 2nd house, Virgo, money again. So a new financial beginning with the sun there in Virgo, a practical way to stabilize your finances for the next 25 to 30 years. Very practical, involves, I would say, where did I? So Sagittarius is over your 3rd, and this is over your 6th. Could be with Sagittarius over your 3rd. Where's Taurus for Libra? Taurus is over your 8th. Could be a financial, again, an investment opportunity, liberates you financially, opens up a way of making money. I also think it's a creative project because 2nd house can be talent. So perhaps a practical way of using a talent that you possess that you can make money at. Very, very, again, this is going to be practical, and it helps and it serves people. I love that simple card you brought up for Cancer, being simple. In a way, that's also Virgo, is to be simple. Pisces is over your 6th house. So it is a soul calling, mission work thing that now opens up for you, that changes your day-to-day routine. You start either writing on a day-to-day, a project comes in that you have to work on day-to-day. You're busy now for day-to-day. Frustrations open up, but you could also break through a frustration because Saturn went into retrograde. It could have been very frustrating. You couldn't break through on some sort of a work project. Now goes through, and then really gains momentum by that direct motion when Saturn goes direct. What else, Libra? What can we look at here? We've got your Taurus house as your ninth. Again, mind opening, but the sun is in your 12th. So travel, foreign countries, opportunities to make money traveling or to go to retreats, or you are very connected to a soul desire. It's something that's, the sun reveals something you really want to do inside that's practical, to have Virgo over your 12th house. I know Libra rising has his nodes in the 12th house. This lunation is going to hit their nodes. So you sort of awaken up to some sort of calling, purpose that is, it could involve travel, could involve the arts, could involve cross-culturals, could involve spiritualism, the higher realms, spirits, ghosts. Let's see.
Well, so it's funny that you brought up the Cancer card, the flower for that. So this was the white water lily.
Oh, wow.
We have this here. Now let me show you the card for Libra is the yarrow. I mean, they're very similar. Look at that.
Very
Similar. And yarrow activates recharge. The message is do a digital detox. Now, you didn't really necessarily talk about the digital aspects, but about the health, the wellness, the day-to-day sort of activities, which may require a digital detox, perhaps. But what really struck me about this card is that it magnifies the energy and clarity of the mind. And you brought that up too, about the mind. And it dissolves toxic and negative or foreign energies from your field. Now, it feels like with Libra too, you know, they tend to take on a lot of stuff from other people because they want to just keep the peace. They want everyone to get along. They don't want to be in conflict. So they may hold things back that need to be said, or energies that are, they're afraid are going to create some sort of issue within their relationships, but that would have a detrimental impact on their health. So this is a time for dissolving that, to be able to relax the mind a little bit and just recharge your own batteries. Again, we have I'm going to remind everyone of that Pisces energy of going within. So go within, recharging from your inner world and not worrying so much about what other people are doing around you. You don't need to make everything better for everyone else. This is about you right now.
Yeah. Well, remember, Libra have Mars in their sign and the South Node in their sign. So it's going to be an interesting time for Libras. I'd be very curious to know how they start acting. They might be just, because sometimes with Mars in Libra, they're oppressed. They just don't let how they feel out. They're just being too nice and keeping everybody else happy. And then it can sometimes be because it is considered to be a weak Mars in the sense that it can't control. Sometimes it just bursts out, has anger outbursts. And since they have the South Node in Libra right now, which is like they're letting go of their people-pleasing tendencies to selfish with the North Node in Aries in their relationships, there is a good chance that they are absolutely ending relationships mega. Because they do get into relationships that are more head-centered, more idea-centered, what they think, more image-based, more beauty-based, more superficial. They do. And so a lot of times this is the time when all of the Libras change that about, and they have to line up with their true spiritual mate.
Well, and Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus has been in retrograde, stationing direct. So that could also create some big shifts and changes when it comes to how they view themselves, how they view themselves within relationships. So, okay, Scorpio, what's going on for them?
Scorpios. All right, Scorpios, you guys have Pisces over your 5th house. So a new relationship, new friends, opening up. Who are your friends? Some sort of friendship situation, or Virgo 11th house. So new friends. And with the sun in your 11th, you're aware now of who really are practical. These are less these are more realistic friends, the tribe group that's more realistic, or you're going on social media networking and you're starting website projects and stuff, but you're now being more practical, and it could actually really open up your social media up more. And then with the fifth house, you could meet some new friends. Pisces over your fifth house, you could get into a more soul connected, true friendship, a true mate, that a friend that is your true person opens up to become a relationship that you may have met on the 20th of February now becomes your true soul connected mate for the next 25 to 30 years. Or you see or you end it, you see that's not your person, not a friend. And now you then open up an opportunity. Now you do meet somebody that is more in alignment with your tribe, your true tribe, true friendship groups. Now also a full moon, if you're already stable in your relationships, a full moon in your fifth house could be a creative project. You could get pregnant. You could have a child. You could get pregnant. What else? Let's look at Pisces is in your fifth, and Virgo is in your 11th. Yeah. So basically you could start a creative project, which you now then bring online. You teach it online. You could become known if you're an actress and Scorpio, and you're in that creative field of acting. You suddenly get a really good acting job, which gives you notoriety. You could have been auditioning for something that didn't happen, and now it comes through. They might want you for something different, which now you meet new people. This is a much more practical, realistic. Let's say you're an actress and you've been going for main leading roles, and now this is a B role, but you see that it's actually really practical and works very well and is very lucky gains. So, all of that. Scorpio are definitely Jupiter in your seventh house. Jupiter is in your second house. So you are expanding. You don't necessarily get into a relationship with Jupiter in your seventh house, but you expand relationships that you do projects with, and you do meet new contracted relationships, business partnerships, but also it can be a romantic at the same time, because you've got that going on in your fifth house, Jupiter in your seventh. Absolutely could be a new partnership. You get married and have a baby. Could very well be what happens. What'd you get for that?
Scorpio is the nasturtium. And nasturtium activates spontaneity, and the messages spice up your life. Now, in terms of what you were saying here, it magnifies being in the right place at the right time. And that feels so connected to what you were saying about the people that you meet, the connections that you make, and how there's that ripple effect and how that can impact you later, creative projects. Like I can feel for myself, the newer people that have come into my life in the past few months, how they are playing a role in upcoming projects, and how being at the right place at the right time and connecting with these people appears to, at least in this moment, I don't know because it hasn't played out yet, but appears to be part of like a stepping stone or the next piece in the puzzle that needed to be placed before the next.
Yes.
Yeah.
That really fits. What's interesting too is like that nasturtium has the red, then it has a slightly less red, then it's more orange. So it's almost like there's an integration of the outside world, the inside world integrating with the outside world, like more integration with the outside world on some sort of creative expression thing, because orange is creativity.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I could totally see that being the case. Yeah. It feels very powerful, very feminine too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's it's somewhat delicate, but it's strong. You know, like if you think about some fabrics, I can't think of the name of it this minute, but there's some fabrics that seem like they're very delicate, but they're super, super strong. Like their tensile strength is high. So this to me reminds me of that a little bit, where it looks like it could be fragile and delicate, but yet there's a fierceness behind it
thing is the fifth house is a Leo house, and it's all about expressing your creative individual self. And that can be a baby, or that can be a creative project or relationship, but it's like something fun and joyful and expansive and creative that inspires other people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right.
Okay.
Sagittarius. So you guys,
Sag.
Saggies have Pisces over their fourth house and Virgo over their ninth. I'm sorry, Virgo hits Saggies over their 10th house. So this is the 10th and 4th axis, of course. So I do know a Sagittarius that has moved. This is moving energy. A full moon in your 4th house reveals where you want to move, opens up a new career connected. I know a Sagittarius who has moved and is now getting more. So it's like a work opportunity opens up from where you're moving to, or that you've moved, or something changes in your living situation. What is it? They have Pisces over their 4th. So it's almost like a dream living somewhere that you've dreamed about living, or it's like an opportunity, emotional connection to where you live, your family, your mothers, your roots. And then we get the sun in your 10th house. So it's possible you get to move to where your roots are, your family are, you connect more to home, family, and then the career now takes off where you've moved to, or your career opportunity opens up, enables you to move, makes you move, an opportunity opens up that's more expansive for your career. So now you move, you get an upgrade in your career. Usually full moons in the 10th house bring you some kind of a pay raise, new clients, new recognition, notoriety. So it's a nice boost for the Sagittarians in their career houses, their career. And Taurus is in your 6th. Again, it's a work energy. Taurus is there. So you're going to be busy for the next year, full on year, finishing with Taurus there, and Uranus there, your life changing on a day-to-day radically in a work way, which I do know Sagittarius through their day-to-day lives, day-to-day routines are radically changing and shifting. So Pisces over your 4th. So you're going to know where your home is. Great. I'm Sagittarius sun. I'm always sitting here going, where is my home? Where am I? I'm always seeking that. Sagittarians can never just settle. Well, I think this is a settling energy for Sagittarians. Your Jupiter is going in, your ruling planet going into retrograde in the sign of Taurus. Again, an inward energy connecting to where really home is. And then sort of a new family, like it can literally mean a family. I mean, meeting a person, because Saggy has Gemini over their 7th. Why was this a relationship energy? Saggies have, what do they have in their relationship houses? Aries, that's because they have the nodes in their 5th house. So creative projects involving relationships or pregnancies for the next 18 months coming in for the lives of Sagittarians. So basically work opens up for Sagittarians, a new opportunity coming into Sagittarians that involves either a shift or changing in their home, or their home life already shifted and changes. And this is a result of having moved February 20th to now a career opportunity opens up to the new place that is now home. Or like I say, moving, getting a job and then moving, an opportunity opens up, which enables you to shift your living situation. And it's a dream come true, don't forget. a dream living situation. Go ahead.
We have the navel orange blossom for Sag, and the message is it's good to be alive and activates warmth. And I feel like that so speaks to what you were saying about where Sagittarians are right now in their lives. This also is connected to the reproductive system. So there's an exclamation point at the end of the sentence of home and family and expanding your family. Be aware of that. Like there's an emphasis there. It also allows Sagittarians to bring down the walls that they may have inside of themselves and open up their heart more to not just other people, but to the possibilities and the potentials for them. A little bit more playfulness, appreciation for being alive, this experience, this journey that they're on, and that discovery of a new home space or a place to call home if they haven't been able to discover that yet. Like
Mhm.
it's there, like it's ready. It's ready for them, but it requires them to be able to, again, Pisces, come back into yourself. What is that for you? What does home look like and feel like? Because if you don't know, how are you going to know when you're there?
Yes, and I think this full moon is going to show that for you.
Aha, there we go. Yeah.
Illuminate.
So navel orange blossom for Sag.
Yay.
Very interesting. All right, Capricorn.
Capricornians. So happy Capricorns have Pluto. I'm so many Capricorns things are happening much better for Capricorns. I've seen them go through hell.
Yes.
Okay. So Capricorn guys have Pisces over your third. So potentially a new business you start, a new website, new internet, new blog, new writing, new neighborhood, you make friends with some new you connect with new neighbors, you discover you are like your neighbors, you meet them. What else? Sister, siblings, full moon, you may solve a conflict with siblings. There may have been conflict because of Saturn being opposing that energy, so there may have been conflicts and communications with either bosses or authorities or older siblings or fathers or parents. Now opens up, there's a solution, things clear up. Let me look at Capricorn again. So you have Pisces over your third, Virgo over your ninth. So you may decide to start traveling, a practical way to travel. You may have had too wild of an idea. Now this is more practical. You also could be starting a new business and you have a new belief, a new practical approach. You could start a new learning course, Virgo, detailed, very studious, writing, deep focus on it, to learn something. Writing, again, it's the ninth house is a house of writing, Virgo there. You could do a lot of writing around a project, which, where does Jupiter hit in your chart? Capricorn, Jupiter is in your fifth house of creativity. Capricorn, I know a Capricorn rising who is finally really living a more creative path. That's what Capricorns are here to learn to try to do, is to blend the two forces, the fire and the earth, and create a flair, something with flair and creativity and beauty, or expand that element. And so with the Virgo in the ninth house, there's a practical applicable way to go forward on some new mind ideas, new explorative ideas about a creative project, because Jupiter is transiting your fourth house, your fifth house. So you're really, shall we say, expanding your creative destiny, as it were, in the creative field, but also you could have children. Ninth house, what else could I say about Saturn is in your third house. So you might have conflicts with your taxes and stuff like that. And then you clear it, full moon comes in and clears some kind of issue that was a problem back. Oh, that would be great. I know a Capricorn who had some tax problems back then, and now they're cleared. They could get cleared. Full moon, enabling you to start a new business, an opening new mind that comes in with an idea of a new thing you want to write, or a new website you want to start, or a new blog, or an internet type communication type thing. Communication is all about the third house. Communication coming in that is good news, just simply good news. All right, what do you got?
So the pink lotus for Capricorn activates divine wisdom. The message is look within. So on the surface, this card doesn't seem to totally connect with Capricorn. However, when I was reading the little caption underneath, let me just share this. Pink lotus inspires us to use the craziness of daily life to wake up and bloom into our purest self. It magnifies our ability to be more compassionate and loving beings. The key line, I think, there is to use the craziness of daily life to wake up. I feel like this is what happens to Capricorn so often, is they're so focused on all the things they have to do because they're that mountain goat, trudging up that hill. They're constantly looking to do, that they're missing the part of themselves that just needs to be in order to know what to do that's actually aligned with them. So the pink lotus is that reminder to, again, we've got that Pisces, look within. This pink lotus card is reminding Capricorns in particular to stop and to look within themselves. This is a conversation I have with a number of Capricornians in my life, where it's just take a breath, slow down, do something for yourself, do something that aligns with who you are, with what you want. And it magnifies. Oh, the other thing was, there was another card when I was shuffling that kept jumping out at me. And it wasn't necessarily because it was the flower for Capricorn, but the energy of calm is highlighted. So finding those pockets of calm in your day, and that's where the wisdom is going to come in. So whatever that is for you, and again, nature is always a great place to go, but calm energy, the calmness, when you're in that calm space, when you feel that sense where you can actually take a breath, that's where you're going to feel revitalized. That's where the wisdom is going to come in. And that is what's really going to catapult you. So pink lotus for Capricorn.
Nice.
Yeah. It's such a pretty flower too.
Yeah. Love that picture.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready for Aquarius.
Aquarius. Yeah.
Full moon in your second house. Excellent. New beginnings, a new fruition of some effort you put in February 20th of a new way to earn money, an effort you made or a seed you planted that may have been oppressed, didn't work out, or slowed down, or seemed to have gotten halted. Now opportunity opens up that shows you that it was indeed a new beginning that will last you a good chunk of time as a new way of stabilizing your income money. So in other words, a very stable new income coming in that is practical. You have the sun in your 8th. It could be that you sell a property and it sells. You put a property on the market and it didn't sell. Now it sells and you get all this money. And now you can invest in something else that brings in money, like you buy another property and you rent it out and you have income from the renter. You get a loan, a business loan, that you now start your creative talent, because the second house can be a talent, creative talent. You become aware of a creative talent you have. You decide to, let's just say you made an attempt at this talent and now it shows you can make money at this talent. Maybe you went into debt and now because of it, and you're bummed out because it put you in debt and you haven't made money back. Now you start to make that money back. What else can we look at for Aquarius, Pisces, 8th house, Scorpio? Where is Taurus? Taurus is in your 4th house. So a property, real estate could be the reason your finances expand. Things work out because a property and a real estate situation opens up for you. Or you enable to move, your property value goes up suddenly with Jupiter there and Uranus there. You suddenly have a value of property go up, which then enables you to maybe get a second on it and invest in another property. And now you don't have to work because you have investment income solely. It could be income from investment coming in. Could be an investment ripens. Anything like that.
So,
or multiple investments, right? And look at
all this potential.
Yeah.
Red clover. Okay. The message is you are invincible for Aquarius. And what I love about this message for Aquarians is that, especially with the second house, I feel like Aquarians have had a bit of a rough go. I feel like they've been tumbled about a little bit, not quite as beat up as Capricorns have been, but still they've felt some things. They've had some instability in their life. Now is the time, if you think about
12th house, just to sort of add that little spicy piece in.
Which,
Capricorn,
yes.
It's not easy. Yeah, go ahead.
It's
Sorry.
not. Yeah, it definitely is not. And so this is, to me, feels very inspiring, very hopeful. Having compassion for yourself, knowing that, okay, you've learned, maybe you've made some quote unquote mistakes. Maybe you've gone down pathways that weren't like the best or the most fun, but now you're at a place where, I don't know, I just keep hearing like, take that calculated risk, knowing that you're building a foundation, that it will pay off. You may not see it out of the gate, but it's a foundational structure. It's that second house piece that's going to work out for you. And you have a lot of different opportunities. It's just, and you can't really make a mistake choosing one. It's just that one may be bigger and brighter than another, but they're all these beautiful possibilities for you. So Red Clover activates empathy. The message is you are invincible. It really is just, to me, a little bit of a nudge from the universe for Aquarians to know that it's all going to be okay, that, you know, any financial setbacks you've had or any hiccups or blips that have occurred, it's smoothing out now, but it does require you to take some action on your part too.
And I think it's working out better than you think with that card. I think it's going to, you know what I mean? I mean, it's like, I think a full moon in this lineup with the second and third and eighth, it could be really beneficial on a investment, could really open up, something really opens up for you. I do know an Aquarius rising I read for, and she's had some very good luck things happening to her. And I do think very much so that she either gets money from a publisher to write her story.
Mm-hmm.
And then it now becomes how she makes her money, because she's focusing on writing the story, so she doesn't work, so she just takes income from that. But I can see something like that happening. So yeah, that's cool. I think it's a good one for Aquarius, actually. Nice. Because
okay,
that's your ruling planet, just so you know. So, and it's in your second house, so you are restructuring your income in the next 3 years. You're gonna have a whole new structure, how you make your money. You could retire, or you have a new structured, stable way of making money for the next 25 years. All right, so now Pisces, you guys, it's on my moon. I'm excited about this. Well, the new moon was on my moon back then. My moon is 1 degree Pisces, but so this is going to be great for Pisces. This is like something, my sun is Pisces, is happening right on his sun. Something you initiated February 20th. And the other thing that's interesting about it being in Pisces energies is there may have been a lot of initiation, and you're sitting here going, wonder which one, huh? Like, wonder which thing that was. So one of those things is going to bubble up here and show itself to be having been the right way, right seeding to have been planted, and openings up coming in that. My son is a musician, and he had applied, there was some interest in him performing at some festivals, and that was around that time. It got slowed down, it didn't happen, it got canceled. Now they're contacting him, it's back, it's happening, happening right on this full moon on his ascendant.
Nice.
So something really opening up very big, because you have Saturn on your first house. You're growing up. All Pisces rising that I know that have Saturn in their first house. They're very busy working right now. They're very maturing. They're stepping up to some kind of plate. They're being much more adult. They're being more trustworthy. They're following through on things. Pisces are not the most disciplined people, but with Saturn in their first house, they're surprisingly very disciplined. And, being responsible. My son is really doing all of that. Musicians tend to be a little more flaky. Pisces, it's okay. They're supposed to be, like you say, they're in the clouds or whatever. So now they're like hard on earth, taking responsibility, taking practical measures. And my son just had an opportunity open up for him to go to Burning Man.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, he's performing with a group of people there. So it's like, that happened on the full moon for Pisces. So something opening things up in a big way for Pisces. You're ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is sextiling all of this. This is opening doors, flowing things, happening. And there's a practical, also Pisces have worked hard, even though they seem like they're kind of flaky or in the other realms, they actually work very hard. They're hard workers. And so you have they're big dreamers. They really believe in, they're gifted. They work hard at it. They don't show success though for a while until they believe in themselves. That's a karmic path for Pisces. So you have Virgo in your seventh house. So Virgo in your seventh house indicates a practical relationship coming forward. This is very much a relationship transit. You become more empowered, and then a relationship now opens up potentially from your past. Saturn retrograde could be, it could be a soulmate, true person coming in, Pisces, a very potentially long-standing committed situation opening up. If you're already in one, a project involving somebody that could last, a work partnership or a contract comes in that lasts a good 25 to 30 years, that stabilizes your relationship. Or you get married during this, because this is a contract. We're looking at things starting here, showing up that will last, that are going to stand the test of time, that we had to mature for, that we had to become more responsible for. And so now that opportunity shows you've grown up for it, now that works out because a maturity has happened during this retrograde. So, and it's usually something that we needed, that is going to last. We needed more growth around. So let me see another message for Pisces. Aries in your second house, you're going to have the nose in your second house. Great for money for the next 18 months. Your money energy is high. You are motivated. You're into it. You're making money. You like it. Taurus is in, Jupiter is in your third house. Writing, communication, new businesses, short distance travel, all of that, new neighbors. And then we've got that Virgo in your seventh house of relationship, a practical contracting project that is servicing of the people, that is practical, that you know how to do it. It's clear, it's simple, it works. You make a contract, it absolutely connects with your income destiny here with this with the nodes in your second house. So it's kind of like a dream coming true, and you would have reached for it earlier and it didn't work. It doesn't really work. You didn't really believe in it. That's the problem with Pisces. That's their karma, is to believe they deserve it, or believe that they're because they get such a rap from society because we're shifting. This is when, like, apparently projectors and Pisceans are going to be more prominent, that way of operating, because Saturn is in the energy of Pisces. So it's almost like this is okay time to be a Pisces, to be that way. You're going to really connect, and then you're going to ground something that's really needed to be ground. That's right. So Pisces, this is great full moon for Pisces.
Pisces, we've got the euphrasia for you. Mm-hmm. It activates intuition, and the message is be decisive. So you mentioned something earlier about all these things that they may be focused on, all these projects, all these opportunities that would appear, but then didn't seem to work out. And they may have multiple now. There may be more than one. And it's about being decisive about, okay, which one really aligns with me now? Because what aligned with you in February may not be aligned with you now. So you really need to tune into your intuition and be decisive when it comes to making that decision. Euphrasia helps you to trust yourself through clear seeing and acting without hesitation, which I feel like is another little bit of wisdom for Pisces to carry through.
Yeah, I can see that.
Trust yourself.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Madelaine?
Well, no, because that Aries that nodes in the Aries energy, that's about going after something, and then good money, going after financial things. But what you just said was believing in yourself. That's very much
trust yourself. Yeah. Trust yourself. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm across the board. That is the message for all this Pisces full moon is, where did you not believe in your creative potential or in your full potential? Where did your karma? Because what we think and how we process is karma. So our ego is either inflating a story about us or deflating the story about us. But what's true? What's the truth about us? So now we're seeing what is true, and it's more than what you think. It's better. We've come further than you think. We've worked harder and achieved more results than you're fully aware of. We just saw hard work and no response. Well, Saturn does that. Saturn delays the outcome, delays the results. So that's what we're going to start seeing here.
Yeah.
So I like it.
It's
Good to have mood for everybody, I say.
Yeah, it really is. I was just popping back over to YouTube to see if anyone was had any comments or had any questions, and looks clear. So I just didn't want to have anyone to feel like we were ignoring you. I kept looking back and forth. So grateful that you join us. Each one of these cosmic chats, it really lights us up to be able to share and really, I mean, Madelaine and I talk about this all the time. It's just, this is our gift to you so that you understand what's happening, and and then you can follow your own inner wisdom and guidance. Like, we're sharing with you how we're perceiving the cosmic energy, but you're living it and experiencing it, and you already have the answers. We may just be confirming something that you already know within yourself. So, and that always feels good to go like, damn, I'm on the right path.
Yeah, I find like astrology is really making us consciously align with what's happening, which then enables us to flow with it more. True. And not, we become, and we can already energetically feel it. A lot of us intuitively know these things are happening, but it's often really affirming and validating to know the direction that it's taking or it's going. We can't really see around that corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah. But yes, hit that like button if hopefully you liked it. So give us. I would ask for that.
Hit the like button whether you like it or not. But if you like it, that's great. That's what we're going for sure. Yeah. And so thank you all for joining us. Thank you for those who stayed till the very end. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new moon in Virgo.
And then we have a Libra eclipse coming.
That's going to be a big one to talk about. A very big one. Yes. And we have a surprise for you for that one. We'll share a little bit more about that next time. So we'll see how that goes. But
all in the know of the planetary, shall we say, I don't even know what to say, the planetary path of the planets, the future planetary outlay.
Okay. And Mercury hopefully will be clear, direct. We won't be so stumbly. We'll find the appropriate words to describe the energy in a way that you can connect to.
That's clear. No,
yes.
We are clear, and we are. It's just sometimes these concepts, we're putting these things together, and we have to find a logical way to explain it, and
that's so true, because it's like all these it's all the stuff that's there. It's like, okay, how do they all fit together and to tell a cohesive story that relates to you and your life? So that's our aim. That's our goal.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks. And thank you, Madelaine, for your wisdom as always. And have an awesome full moon in Pisces.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.